Good evening and welcome. This is Breaking Views on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. What are we focusing on the show this evening? Two very important news stories came out throughout the day. They developed throughout the day. One from Karnataka, one from Rajasthan. One thing in common between both the states, both will be facing the elections next year. So on Breaking News, we decided to take up both these election states and the controversies which are erupting from there. We'll talk about first, of course, the Karnataka Savarkar portrait fight, the photo fight which is taking place in Karnataka. Once again, politics around Veer Savarkar. There has been so much said, so much written about it, so many debates which I've already taken about the role of Veer Savarkar. The Congress and the BJP have squared off. But why at this juncture, in Karnataka, suddenly there is once again this huge furore over the picture of V.D. Savarkar? That's going to be our first focus. Our lead two this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be what many are calling the reverie culture in Rajasthan. Ashok Gehlot today, as the 100 days, more than 100 days of Bharat Jodo Yatra, while it exits from Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot threw a googly. He said, he promised in fact, that next year in the election year, in the penultimate, in fact in the final year of his government, Ashok Gehlot promises 500 rupee gas cylinder. Is that a game changer? And can Rajasthan even afford that? That's the question that we will be asking in our lead two. But let's start with Karnataka. As today, in fact, a portrait of V.D. Savarkar was inaugurated in the Karnataka Assembly. Now, Hindutva icon V.D. Savarkar's image was put up at the State Assembly, and that triggered angry reactions from the opposition on the opening day of the winter session at Belagavi. These visuals that you see is of the Congress party coming out. The Congress leader Siddaramaiah led the opposition and questioned what was the need to feature a controversial figure inside the Karnataka Assembly. Congress leaders held up pictures of Jawaharlal Nehru during the protest and said that why not put pictures of Jawaharlal Nehru, but go ahead and put the picture of V.D. Savarkar. Now, this is the portrait which was in fact put up. But what we also saw today was tensions between Karnataka and Maharashtra on the border. On the border of Karnataka and Maharashtra. It didn't look like two states of the Indian Union. It looked like two countries, in fact, fighting for piece of land. And both these states, ladies and gentlemen, are ruled by the Bharatiya Janata Party. There is a double-engine sarkar in Maharashtra. There is a double-engine sarkar in Karnataka. Center, of course, Bharatiya Janata Party. In Maharashtra, there is an NDA government, and also in Karnataka, there is a BJP government. Is this some way an attempt to try and divert the attention from what is happening? A very, very sensitive issue as far as the border crisis between Karnataka and Maharashtra is concerned. Let's first listen in to what the Chief Minister of Karnataka and of course the opposition said on the portrait controversy.
क्यों बवाल कर रहे? पार्लियामेंट सेंट्रल हॉल में सावरकर जी का फोटो है या नहीं है? और स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर है. आइडियोलॉजिकल डिफरेंस आपके होंगे, आई डोंट डिनाई फॉर दैट. आपको क्या स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर के डालने से आपको दुख होगा? किसका डालना है? सिद्धरामैया को पूछो, ये दाऊद इब्राहिम का डालना है क्या?
They have brought this photo because we are going to raise lot of corruption issues on them. On the 40% scandal, the dirty job what the government has done, we are going to raise that. On the electoral scandals and lot of scandals which will be coming out. So they want to block it. They feel that we are going to fight out for it and we will not allow them for the proceedings.
ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಈಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಪತ್ರ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ, ಈ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ನಾನು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷ ನಾಯಕರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
So both the BJP and the Congress, the battle lines are drawn. Karnataka, remember, will be the state which will be going to the polls early next year. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, there is a very, very divided opinion as far as V.D. Savarkar is concerned. Now, on the portrait, ladies and gentlemen, the portrait was unveiled. Let me very quickly tell you again, in the Karnataka Assembly, opposition, in fact, has questioned Savarkar's portrait, and Congress has said they do not want to continue the proceedings. the Chief Minister, in fact, came out and attacked the opposition and said what happens in the assembly is decided by the Speaker. The portraits are at the pleasure of the Speaker, not as far as the Congress or the government is concerned. All right, joining me now at this moment on our first face-off this evening, Arshpreet Singh is the Congress spokesperson. He's joining us at this moment. Arshpreet, thank you so much for being with us. We are also expecting any moment now. Parnila Saragi, she is the leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, a senior lawyer as well. We are expecting her to join any moment. But let me start with you, Arshpreet, and try and understand. What is the objection as far as V.D. Savarkar is concerned or his portrait is concerned? While the ideological differences might be there, there is no denying that he has been a controversial figure, but he's also revered as a freedom fighter, as somebody for a lot of people, and including the current government, as an ideologue.
See, from the last many years, the Bharatiya Janata Party's government has been in power. Despite that, they never thought of unveiling Mr. Savarkar's picture in the assembly. But today, that the winter session was going to begin, they did that. Why? People must have wondered that. The simple reason behind that is they knew that they were going to be exposed over the corruption issues that have been taking place in Karnataka. They knew that their maladministration and malpractices were to be exposed in Karnataka. Therefore, in order to divert the attention and in order to block that, they have done this. Because they knew once they come up with this, there had to be opposition. And that's why the BJP did this in plain as a day. This has to be understood. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party has failed to understand that the assembly takes in a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of money. And, you waste all of that. You wash it all away just because you want to divert the attention of the people. There are people, dying because of so many issues: unemployment, poverty, malnutrition, corruption, and whatnot. But the Bharatiya Janata Party, instead of talking about those issues, wanted to come up with just a picture.
But you are creating the controversy, right? It's the opposition that walked out. It's the opposition that walked out. These issues could have still be debated in the Assembly of Karnataka. There are very important border issues between Maharashtra and Karnataka that could have been raised. It was the opposition that decided to walk out in protest.
Because we had to protest it, because the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to politicize even the assembly and, does not want to discuss the issues of the people. And number two, if they really wanted to, unveil pictures, put them in the assembly, they could have done that with vis-a-vis,
But Arshdeep, if the BJP government wanted to do that, if the BJP government wanted to do that, then you have walked right into their trap. They wanted to set off, possibly put this portrait, put you off the discussion, and you have done exactly what the BJP possibly would have wanted politically.
Now, so what we should do is, we should let them go ahead with Savarkar Saab's picture and not do anything about that, not say anything about that. Protesting is our freedom of speech and expression.
Okay.
Protesting is our right. And number two, if they really want to unveil pictures and put up portraits, they could have done that vis-a-vis Nehru Saab, they could have done that vis-a-vis Ambedkar Saab, they could have done that vis-a-vis Kanakadasa Saab, they could have done that vis-a-vis Kuvempu Saab. But all these people, have been ignored.
Okay, Pramila Nesargi is with us, leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Ma'am, thank you and welcome on the show. I want to start by asking you, the Congress accuses the BJP in the state of trying to divert the attention by putting a poster of a controversial figure as V.D. Savarkar. They don't want to talk about the border issue. They don't want to talk about what's happening as far as Karnataka is concerned, the corruption allegations. Because of that, the Congress alleges that you have put the poster or the picture of V.D. Savarkar just to divert the attention.
Definitely not. They must know what they are talking about. Who is the person, the greatest person of this country is Savarkar, who was responsible for getting the freedom to our country. You compare only Subhash Chandra Bose, Vallabhbhai Patel and Savarkar, Ambedkar. These are the persons. These Congress people who are talking, boasting. They have not done anything. Mr. Nehru enjoyed the jail facilities, had the nice food and came out. What about the Savarkar? He was a great man who was punished who was there in Andaman and Nicobar. Has any one of these Congress people suffered?
It
Have
could
they
be,
got to
madam,
that
your
stage?
ideology to put one, freedom fighter over other, like you are saying, the former Prime Minister, possibly not worthy enough to have his picture being put in the Karnataka Assembly because the BJP and possibly your party doesn't agree with his point of view or the work that he has done. But does it augur well if you want V.D. Savarkar to be respected, to disrespect another icon like Jawaharlal Nehru?
What about, they were in power Congress. Why they did not do? If they had so much respect for Jawaharlal Nehru, why did they not put the photograph? Why? What prevented them? Why they are commenting about us when they could not do? How they can ask us when they were in power, they were in assembly, they were the persons who were there in Belagavi assembly when it was inaugurated. Why did they not think of?
Harshpreet Karyal, respond to what Pramila ji is saying. You were in power 7 years. The Congress government was in power before this. Why didn't the government think of putting up, posters or portraits of Jawaharlal Nehru and other leaders if the BJP is now doing as per their own choice of who they want to portray in the assembly? Why is the Congress having a problem?
Because for us, more than photos, it is the lives of people that matters more. It is the development that matters more. It is, those issues that are waiting to be discussed, to be debated upon that matter more. For us, back in the day, we didn't indulge into such rajniti, into politics, just in order to divert the attention, or if there were going to be some, hard questions posed to us, introduce a photo, try to, unveil it and then put it so that you can stop, the assembly from functioning, so that you can divert the attention. We have never done that. Okay. We always used to prioritize the people over pictures and over photos, and it's the Bharatiya Janata Party that does it the other way around. And number two, why does the Bharatiya Janata Party want to disregard, just last point.
Okay.
Why does the Bharatiya Janata Party want to disregard the contributions? Now that you are coming up with a portrait, you want to put it there, why not of the people who have made such contributions to India, like Mr. Nehru, Mr. Ambedkar, and Mr. Valmiki Saab, and Kanakadasa Saab, and
also,
many more people that we have been suggesting.
Okay. But Pramila ji, it's a very valid question. It's a valid question. You
I'll tell you,
in the election year, you know that in an election year, V.D. Savarkar is a controversial figure. It is going to be a very divisive opinion as far as V.D. Savarkar is concerned. So, is the Bharatiya Janata Party trying to use V.D. Savarkar's portrait not only to appease possibly Marathi-speaking voters on the borders of Karnataka and Maharashtra, because there is a tussle that is going on there, but also somewhere try and stoke the Hindutva factor ahead of the elections?
It's not correct. If he was controversial, why did Indira Gandhi brought about the stamp in his name? Why did these people not object? Why did Indira Gandhi contribute a personal contribution of 11,000 to the Savarkar fund? Why? When they have no objection, Indira Gandhi considered him a great man and they printed the stamp. What is the objection by these Congress people?
Okay.
Why did they not object at that time? He is not controversial. According to Indira Gandhi, he was not controversial. Ambedkar, when they were all going
but being controversial doesn't mean getting a stamp of approval from Mrs. Gandhi as the Prime Minister. There has been certain issues about Mr. Savarkar which have, like in his own book, he in fact somewhere justified violence against women as a political tool. He was accused, though he was cleared on lack of evidence in the murder of the father of the nation as well. So is the BJP, and I'm just very quickly asking you in the end, using V.D. Savarkar in Karnataka to try and somewhere appease the Hindutva vote?
Definitely not. A great man always has the obstacles. They will have opposition. More the opposition, more the great the man. Because these people are opposing, they are making the man Savarkar a great man. They accept.
I will leave it there. That's a very important thing that you have said. More the opposition, greater the personality. Possibly the BJP can also apply the same rule when they talk about Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So the more opposition for V.D. Savarkar or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru by the Bharatiya Janata Party, V.D. Savarkar by the Congress, it only just makes the people greater than they are actually, in fact, maybe. Thank you so much for joining us at this moment, Pramila ji. Arshdeep is going to stay with us. Now I'm going to shift focus to our second face-off this evening. the Reverie remix before the Rajasthan election, just ahead of the polls. To remember, 2023 is going to be the year when Rajasthan will be voting to elect a new government after 5 years, right in the end, and it will be just before the crucial 2024 elections. As the Bharat Jodo Yatra exits Rajasthan, today Ashok Gehlot made a big announcement, a googly of sorts. He said the Rajasthan government will provide cooking gas cylinders at 500 rupees for people under the poverty line and those who are enrolled in Ujjwala scheme. I first want to play out for you what the Chief Minister of Rajasthan said.
स्टडी कर रहे हैं, अगले महीने बजट प्रस्तुत करूंगा मैं असेंबली के अंदर, इसलिए अभी मौके पर मैं एक ही बात कहना चाहूंगा, बाकी मैं और घोषणाएं करूंगा बजट में। पर जो ये नाटक किया गया उज्ज्वला योजना के नाम से, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने गरीबों को एलपीजी कनेक्शन दे रहे हैं, चूल्हा दे रहे हैं, और वो टंकी खाली पड़ी रहती है, कोई ले ही नहीं रहा, क्योंकि 400 रुपये से 1040 रुपये तक हो गई रेट गैस सिलेंडर की। मैं इस मौके पर घोषणा करूंगा, ऐसे लोग जो बीपीएल के हैं, गरीब हैं, उज्ज्वला योजना जुड़े हुए हैं, एक कैटेगरी की स्टडी करवाएंगे, उसके बाद में 1 अप्रैल के बाद में साल में 12 सिलेंडर, 1400 वाला, 1040 वाला है, वो 500 रुपये में हम देंगे सबको, ये मैं आपसे वादा करना चाहता हूं।
So is it just an election jumla that has been thrown up by Ashok Gehlot ahead of the election, and is it just a message to the common people, to the common voters, to the BJP, but is it also somewhere got to do with the internal tiff and the politics which is going on within the Congress party in Rajasthan? Joining me to discuss this, Ranveer Singh Pathania, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We also at this moment have Ashpreet Karyal, spokesperson of the Congress party. Gentlemen, welcome. I want to start with you, Mr. Karyal. If Mr. Gehlot was so worried about the common people, about the problems and the hardships that they have been facing, the rising prices of the LPG cylinder, which has been, incidentally, since 2014, has been increased, in fact, more than a dozen times. He had more than 3 years, Mr. Karyal, to, in fact, implement a policy like this. Why? And that too, now he said, from April 1st. So a pure election tactic, isn't it?
Not at all. See, one, you asked why were we not able to do this before. Pehli baat to, there is no mentioned time as to when a certain policy has to come. It is for the government to decide and see, when it can possibly be brought out, given the resources, given the, given all the other relevant factors. Number two, back in the day, we were also busy distributing 1,000 to to the farmers per month, 50 units of free electricity, social security, which is of which is being given to 1 crore people. And vis-a-vis the COVID time also, we turned out to be one of the best performing states, and even the WHO recognized us. Now, at a time when there has been bad news after bad news vis-a-vis the Bharatiya Janata Party, that is also known as the bad news generating party. It is, whether it be inflation, unemployment, poverty, all the other issues. At this time, a party like Congress has, come out as a breath of fresh air, and this policy, 12 cylinders per year for the people below the poverty line at ₹500 is great.
Mr. Karyal, why should this not be taken as a reverie, an election reverie? And let me, quote you a data to further this point. The RBI data shows that for Rajasthan is among the top 10 states with the highest debt burden. The debt to GSDP ratio, Rajasthan is among the top 5 highly stressed states for a state which is already reeling under such economic hardships. You think that, this is a wise move by Mr. Ashok Gehlot, or he will put, where will the money come from?
100%. This has been, embraced by the people with a huge smile on their face, because everybody knows it for a fact that under the Bharatiya Janata Party's sham Ujjwala scheme, there were cylinders that were being given, but they were empty because the rates were crossing 1,000 bucks. And at a time like that, it comes as a big relief, as a big respite on the Congress party, vis-a-vis the funds, vis-a-vis the resources. साहब नियत की कमी होती है जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी में है. Despite the central government's funds haven't been able to do anything, but we, being in the state, Now we'll do it.
सर नियत के साथ कुछ मैथ्स की भी जरूरत होती है, कुछ इकोनॉमिक्स की भी जरूरत होती है. Your treasury in Rajasthan doesn't show very very bright numbers for you to in fact take up a scheme like this. But Mr. Pathania, you heard what Mr. Khadyal is saying. It is the Congress party which is thinking about the people, and because the BJP has continuously been putting the burden on the people ahead of the elections in Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot has decided he is going to stand up for the people. That's the argument of the Congress party.
Ankesh, very simply and very sweetly, this is pure histrionics and gimmickry. But if gimmickry would have been able to deliver goods, Rajasthan by now would have turned into an happy oasis of a state. So we could call it also bad economics, bad politics. This is just an election jumla. And if you kindly decode the statement, अगले महीने जो बजट होगा और उस बजट में मैं ये प्रपोजल लाऊंगा, oh my dear sir, the elections are due in Rajasthan this year. So this is another reverie, another we could say election stunt. But you keep one thing, I will request my learned friend from Congress to keep pencil and write it on. It's in handwriting, it's a writing writ on the wall in Rajasthan that Congress is going to be routed out of Rajasthan. It has
but Mr. Pathania, when yes, Congress makes an announcement like this, it becomes a reverie. When the Bharatiya Janata Party, rather in Himachal Pradesh or in fact in Gujarat, the elections that just in fact wrapped up, or even in the MCD here in Delhi, when it comes out and talks about free electricity and what are the pension schemes for in fact old people, that doesn't counter into the Jumla factor, is it?
Sir, Ankesh, you have put out a very, very relevant question. The point remains, there is a water-thin distinction between revdi and reaching out to the underprivileged and the virtually the needy people. So the law of the land remains that there has to be equality before the law. But there cannot be equality amongst the unequals. My point is that this point, no doubt, they are reaching out, we welcome it, they want to reach out, but the intention is not sincere. The intention is just to hoodwink, the intention is just to offer and then run away. The intention is what they let them come out with a white paper.
Is the intention just to hoodwink the voter? Try and throw this in the election year. Or was Mr. Ashok Gehlot with this announcement not only was reaching out to the voters but also trying to cement his position as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, throwing a challenge of gauntlet for Sachin Pilot as well?
In front of Rahul Gandhi, sir. In front of Rahul Gandhi. That's it.
First, now please hear me out. First, Mr. Gehlot has performed outstandingly well on education, on Medicare, on employment, on women empowerment, on the law and order. And as far as, this issue is concerned, people said the same thing at the time of OPS also. How will they do it? Will they be able to do it? Are the funds there? The economy is this, that, like you are saying. But we did it. And we'll deliver this also. Please do not mistake us for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And number two, the BJP spokesperson saying you're going to be ousted from Rajasthan.
Okay.
I think he has forgotten the reality check they just got very recently, in 3 states, MCD, Gujarat and Himachal. You had all 3, you just left with 1. And coming to this issue, Revdi issue, 15 lakh rupees, is that a Revdi or is that not a Revdi? You did not even deliver it.
But Arshdeep, the Himachal government, the condition of the Himachal government and the exchequer, the treasury there is also in a very serious situation. It's a highly stressed state. The fact is that the government is yet to form a cabinet and then, of course, sign on that issue of OPS. Does just bad economics, why does it make such attractive politics? Politicians is that question that perpetually will have to, answer. But for the voters right now, as Mr. Ashok Gehlot has thrown, a googly whether
in order to do welfare and development for the people.
Welfare,
and last but not the least, is the Bharatiya Janata
trust me, with welfare schemes, you also, if the governments were so careful about the welfare scheme, Rajasthan would have not been one of the highly burdened, tax burdened, and also a burdened state as far as the economic stress is concerned, Arshdeep. Let's leave it there. No point me and you talking over each other. It's for the voters who have to decide eventually whether Mr. Ashok Gehlot's promises would hold any water and influence as far as the voters are concerned in the upcoming elections of Rajasthan. That's all the time that we have in breaking news. News and updates continue on NDTV. Stay tuned.